Welcome to this week's episode of
Once Upon a Dream. Sorry, our video quality still isn't the best. We left our camera at his parents' house in Louisiana, and we're currently in Arkansas because Jared's in school. So she's having to ship it to us, and we still haven't gotten it yet. So bear with us, it will get better. We're having to do all our vlogs on our computer. So sorry, it's not beautiful.
So this week, what we're going to be talking to you guys about are the reasons why you should stay at one the next time that you visit Walt Disney World compared to staying off property.
We always try to talk anybody that we know that's going to Walt Disney World into staying on property. It makes your whole experience so much better when you stay on property. It does it. It makes your trip, because the magic never ends. You're always on Disney property. You're always involved in Disney. There's always Disney around you. It just never ends, and it's awesome. We can't get enough of it, so it's good for us. But
yeah, the convenience is second to none. Once you stay there, you probably won't ever stay off property ever
stay off of property. And since we've stayed on it, we absolutely love it. It's wonderful. So if you have a trip planned for Walt Disney World and you're not staying on property, shame on you. If you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, stay on property. I promise you'll thank us. It's so much better. So we're going to try to convince you and explain to you why we think that you should stay on property.
First, we're going to talk to you about the benefits of staying at a Walt Disney World resort. So, the first thing, if you're flying to Orlando to stay at Walt Disney World, you have the option to actually not even have to drive to the resort itself. They actually have their own shuttle service called the Magical Express.
Yeah, it's a magical depress when you leave.
But Magical Express when you're going there. They'll pick you up from the airport and drive you to the resort. The other added bonus to that is they'll take care of your luggage for you the entire time. The last time that we went, when we arrived at the airport on our way there, they took our luggage, and the last time that we saw our luggage was when we were back in our room at the resort.
I hate having to lug luggage around.
So
there's
no wasted time in you going to baggage claim or anything. They take care of 100% of it if you're using the Magical Express and using that option. So that is a definite added bonus.
Yeah. That's only beneficial if you're flying to Orlando. So if you're flying to Orlando and you're not staying on Disney property, you have to find a way to get to your hotel, which is going to cost you money because you're going to either have to rent a shuttle, rent a taxi, or rent a car. And that can cost quite a bit of money because they don't provide that for you. And if you only plan on going to the park, that's wasted. You know, if you have to rent a car, that's just wasted money. And if you have to rent a taxi every time, that adds up to be so much money.
So if you're actually driving to Walt Disney World compared to flying there, and you stay on property, then you will actually receive a free voucher to park at any of the 4 parks on property, compared to if you're not staying on property, you will have to pay to park then, which at minimum will cost you $17 a day if you're driving like a car, SUV, motorcycle. If you're using like a bus or a camper.
Jinx again!
then it will actually cost you more than that. So at minimum it will be $17 a day though. So if you stay on property, then that's an extra expense that you won't have. The other option you have if you're staying at a resort on property is the free transportation that Disney offers, which we highly recommend.
The boats. We love the boats.
The biggest one that most people use is the bus systems, which go from any resort to any park. The only negative to that is you can't go from resort to resort or from a park to another park using the bus system. But it is highly convenient. Such systems as the boats, at some of the parks, will actually take you from like a resort park to a park, or from a park to a resort as well.
The one that we did that we know for sure goes from park to park is the boat at Magic Kingdom. It goes to Hollywood Studios. You have to wait a little. It does take a little bit longer, but it's really relaxing and enjoyable, so it's not that big of a deal. You do have to go from Magic Kingdom and it takes you to the beach club
Like the
resort
beach club, yeah.
and the yacht club resort and stuff like that. It drops you off in that little area of resorts. It doesn't drop you off unless you live there, but
it's a very neat way.
Stay there.
It's a very neat way though to see a lot of the like all of Walt Disney World that you probably typically wouldn't see unless you did that.
If you don't have time to go resort hopping, you can just get on the boat and go resort hopping on your way, because it was pretty neat. We got to see the beach club resort, which we want to stay there so bad.
Definitely a bucket list place to stay.
Yeah, it was just really expensive. So another beneficial thing to staying on property is you get extra magic hours. Extra magic hours are one park opens an hour early, or sometimes it differs, but in another park opens an hour late, or sometimes it also differs. Sometimes it's more.
And that means that you get that much added time in the parks. If you stay off property, then you only get to stay in the park for the normal hours for that day. So, like, this will be an advantage to you, like if you really want to ride several rides, but during the day they're extremely busy because everybody's there, then you can wait till later that night when some people have to leave, and there are much shorter lines then.
The parks really thin out during extra magic hours, because think how many people aren't staying on property that are at Walt Disney World, and all of those people have to leave or they don't get there early.
So, like, if you weren't able to maybe get a fast pass for something, then you could still ride a really cool ride later that night when there aren't as many people there. So, that's another added bonus. Then the last thing that we could think of is if you stay on property, then you get
magic bands! Sorry, I left you hanging. I love magic bands. Your magic bands are something that you get for free if you stay on property. If you don't stay on property, you will get to convert your tickets to magic bands. If you watched our previous video, you know that you can convert them to magic bands once you are in the park. But you do have to pay for those. I don't know how much they are because we've never had to pay for them, but they shouldn't be that much. But you want to save all that you can save when you're at Disney. If you are staying on property, your magic bands are shipped to you. You get to pick your color. Your name's on the back of them. They're just awesome. I love magic bands. If you can't tell.
If you can't tell.
I love magic bands. Another thing that's linked to your magic bands that you get if you stay on property is you get Fast Pass Plus. And what Fast Pass Plus is, you get to book your Fast Passes 60 days prior to your check-in.
Which is a good thing.
Because now, they used to not have it, but now Fast Passes run out. There are only so many slots available for certain times. So if you're wanting to ride Expedition Everest, just for example, there's only a certain number of Fast Passes for certain times. So if you can go ahead and book it, so you know that you'll be able to have that Fast Pass, and so whenever you get there, you're not stuck waiting the whole time.
And then you can plan like all of your other things during the day, like around that, if you already know like when all your Fast Passes are going to be. So you can plan out when you're going to eat or where you're going to eat, and you can base your other like reservations off of that too. So
it's very, very beneficial. So it's something that it's beneficial to us, and it's probably beneficial to everybody else, because we like to have our days lined out, where we're going to eat, what we're going to do. We're a very organized Disney couple. We like to know what we're going to do because we don't like to waste time at Disney. We like to make sure we get to do everything that we want to.
So, speaking of making dining reservations, the next added bonus of staying on property is that you do have the option of purchasing a Disney dining plan, which we recommend.
Yes,
and you can only do that if you're staying on property. Like if you're staying off property, then the Disney dining plan isn't available to you. And we highly recommend being able to purchase that because of all the great places that you can eat.
And it ends up saving you quite a bit of money. For us, it does.
Yeah.
But we can't go into a lot of detail about the Disney dining plan because we will make a video about that. If you don't know what it is, be sure to check back and subscribe to our channel so you know you'll be able to know what it's about, because it's awesome. We always recommend the dining plan.
So the next thing that we want to talk about as an advantage is if you're staying on property and you get to go view other different resorts, maybe not even the one that you're staying at, but other resorts there, is that you get to witness or be a part of the entertainment that goes on at the resorts.
There's really neat things. They have outdoor movies. They have things. I know the what is it? Is it the Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom? One of those two has the outdoor movie and the little thing with Chipping Dale, and it's really cool. And they have
you like roast marshmallows and make s'mores.
There's a couple of resorts that have the where you can roast marshmallows and stuff like that. And you can only do that if you're staying on property. And it's just something really fun to do if you're out and about in the parks all day and you just want to have a night back at your home, as Disney calls your resort. They call it when you come into your resort, they say welcome home. Isn't that lovely? That's so sweet. But you only get to do those things if you stay on property. And my personal thing that I think is really cool is the movie outside. You can bring a blanket and sit outside. Sometimes they have chairs. You know, it's just really romantic.
Like if you've been there for most of the week, then after a few nights, you're probably starting to get tired. And so having a night that's just kind of low key, that you can just kind of take everything in and relax, is a nice change of pace and something that you don't really get to experience unless you're actually staying on property. So that's another reason why we recommend it.
And the last thing that the reason why we recommend staying on property is the legendary Disney service. If you've stayed at every hotel, every resort, is nothing compared to the warm feeling you get at Disney. They go above and beyond your biggest expectations to make you feel at home, to make you feel like they'll do anything, to make you feel comfortable. I mean, it's just, they treat you like family there. It's awesome.
You really do get what you pay for.
Even the housekeeping ladies, they'll tell you their name, they'll talk to you, and you become friendly with them. I mean, you don't get that anywhere else. You never even see your housekeeping people.
The whole time you're there, they just make the experience that much more magical.
Aw, man, I want to go back.
All right, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching. Join us next Monday as we'll have our next video up. But we hope that we were able to convince you to stay on property the next time you book your Walt Disney World vacation. Please leave us your comments and please subscribe. Give us any suggestions to why you think it's your advantage to staying on property. Thanks for watching. See you next week, guys.